talk about my process on how it's been this incredible journey that I've been on my spiritual journey, because I grew up Catholic and I didn't believe a word that those priests were saying. It just did not resonate with me. I grew up in a really chaotic, dysfunctional household, and because of that, and my parents' devout religious practice, I just didn't buy into it, because I'm like, this is not happiness, this is not bliss, this is not love. So I felt very disconnected. I grew up adopted Asian in an all-white community. My parents were white, my brother's white, my sister was adopted as well. And I just knew that that wasn't it. Like, I knew that there was more. And so I always had this longing and this little inkling of knowing that there was more. So I go on to, realize that there's more out there. And because I grew up in like my parents are very like minimal. They're not like flashy, and I always loved beauty, and I loved art, and I loved fashion, and I loved like all of the pretty things. And that just seemed really frivolous to my family. So, I always felt this like longing for things, material things. And growing up, I felt very deprived because my parents' priorities were not the same as mine, which I was very much a girl and I loved girly things and makeup and jewelry and all of those things. My mom's very like minimal. She could care less about those things. So I decided to grow up and be my own independent woman and make all my own decisions and make all my own purchases and do what I wanted to do with my life. And I spent like the better part of like almost 2 decades building my career in the fashion industry, working long hours, traveling all over the place. And some of those experiences were incredible and others were brutal, painful. Yeah, I feel like New York City fashion industry is known as probably notorious to be pretty brutal, and it lived up to it. So, after I had gotten laid off from my last job at Victoria's Secret, I was the design director of knitwear, and they really they raked me through the coals before they fired me. It was pretty brutal. And I just had to realize that, guess what? This is also not it. Making money, traveling all over the world, having all the most beautiful things is not what fulfillment is either. So about 10 years ago, I started my spiritual journey. And I have had this beautiful, painful journey where I've been broken open and broken down and kind of like redesigned my life and myself, and opened my heart up and met new people and realized the importance of what really life is about. And it's been really, really incredible. The power of who and what we actually are is so beautiful. And I'm realizing that actually as I speak, because I just found out this morning that I have breast cancer. And I'm still processing that, but it's okay. All of the things that are marketed at us, like all of the things, all of the material things, everything is so frivolous, honestly. I mean, I am a girl's girl. I love jewelry, I love designer bags, I love clothes, makeup, all of the things. Like, those things actually bring me so much joy. I love them. They're like, beautiful little expressions, ways to express myself. But at the same time, like, there is such a deeper level of fulfillment, bliss, love, and joy that can come from your life that has nothing to do with material things. It has everything to do with your awareness. It has everything to do with your belief and your faith in a higher power. It has everything to do with your mental health. Mental, emotional, and spiritual health are just as important as your physical health. Because I've spent decades of my life suffering with anxiety, suffering with self-doubt, worry, self-loathing, all of these things. And these are the things that I really do think manifested into the breast cancer. But I know, I feel grateful that I caught it early, and I know that I'm going to be okay. I just do know that how you feel and what you think about is your power. And if you don't get a hold of yourself, if you don't get a hold of your emotions, if you don't focus on the things in life that are most... And I've actually kind of studied myself over the past couple of years. I do journaling almost every single day. And I really just like watch my thoughts, watch my feelings, watch the evolution of how I've changed my heart and my brain and the way that I think and the way that I talk to myself and the way that I treat people. And I've watched how it's cascaded into this really beautiful, loving, safe, amazing existence that I don't need to be in a place of judging myself constantly anymore and constantly trying to strive to get to the top of the mountain the way that I have been over the past 20 years. It's really not about all of the things that I grew up thinking that would fulfill me. It's more about getting to the core. If you can find inner peace in your heart and soul, if you can find love, if you can radiate that way of being in your life, that's when you become the magnet. That's when you become the receiver of all of the desires, all of the love, all of the bliss and joy in your life. It doesn't happen when you are clawing your way to the top of the corporate hill to make the big salary and to have the nice cars and to go on the nice vacations and wear all the best shit. It comes when you go within and you really tap into the awareness of who and what you truly are. When you meet yourself, when you meet your soul, that's when it happens. So it's been a pretty arduous journey getting here, but I've gotten here.